Yeah, g'day. Don't know much about knives, don't know anything at all about YouTube videos, so this will be pretty amateur. Just wanted to give you guys a chance to have a look at the Hogue Trauma, because when I was looking for it I really couldn't find much. So here we go. Start off with where I got it from. Knife supplies down in Tassie managed to get a hold of it for me. It took them a little while, but they were the only people in Australia who could get it, so there's a nice little care guide for someone who's never owned a knife before, like me. And here is the box. It comes in a fairly nice little belt holder there. Velcro on the front seems to be the only fastener, and there it is, bright orange. Used to be a paramedic and still occasionally do a bit of first aiding, so it's important for me to be able to find my gear, and also hopefully any law enforcement who sees it might find it a little less intimidating, because I'm quite obviously not trying to hide it. So we'll start from the little stuff and move up to the big stuff. You've got a little carbide tip on the end here. I'd love to see how it performs. This is my pair of Raptor shears from back when I was a paramedic. I'd love to see how it compares to another one, but I suspect that they're all the same, hard and smack the glass. Fairly simple clip. Not much in the way of carry options other than deep, but that's how I suspect I'll be wanting to carry it. We've got the seatbelt cutter on the back here. Deploys fairly easily. I imagine it'll loosen up over time. I actually think that I like the design of Hogue's seatbelt cutter more compared to my the one on my Raptor shears. The Raptor shears is quite thick at the tip. The few times that I have had to use it, I've either dug into the patient or really hard struggled to get it underneath whatever it was I wanted to cut, so hopefully the thinner tip on the Hogue will get the job done. In terms of sharpness, they both feel, they're not knife sharp, but they'll get the job done. But there's no lock on that, it just holds back when you're pulling on it from the direction you're cutting it in, and clicks away fairly out of place. A little bit of but that might be nice so you can find it in the dark. They also gave us a little oxygen wrench, again similar to my Raptor shears here. I was glad to see, because I wasn't sure from the pictures online, I was glad to see that oxygen wrench hole. You can see a little bit of light through there, that it's actually in the liner of the blade as well as the handles, which is good because sometimes those oxygen cylinders are really quite tight, and I wouldn't want to go smashing my scales by trying to open it. Alright, I guess there's nothing left. Well, not the blade soon. The scales are quite grippy against my bare skin. I suspect if I was wearing gloves, they would be equally grippy, probably to the point that it might actually start to rip a hole in the glove, but that's why you double glove when there's blood on scene. And the blade. I've never used a thumb deployed knife before. I've just watched you guys online, but the action is smooth enough that really didn't need any practice at it. Managed to replicate you guys just fine. We've got a combo edge here. This is what actually took so long. Knife suppliers could get plenty with a straight edge, but getting a combo edge was a problem. But I just want something that's got a bit more grip and rip to it. As I said, this will primarily be used in first aid situations, so it's important for me to have an edge that can handle any kind of materials that I come up against. Elected for the blunt tip instead of the sheep's foot. Again, I don't need to be poking anyone or anything with this thing. If I do end up opening boxes with it, I'm sure that the tip there will be sufficient. So I just wanted to minimize any chances. I've only got my little digital camera, so I don't know how well it's going to show you the blade here. It appears to be a one-sided grind. I'm not sure how normal that is. There is a tiny splash of silver just on the back of the blade. I don't think my camera's picking that up very well, but from the back it feels quite dull. I suspect that it's a single side grind. Happy to take feedback on whether that's a quality control issue or a intentional design. In terms of flex, it's really quite rigid. The lock. I've heard a little bit about Axis lock versus I can't remember what Benchmade call it, or Benchmade call it the Axis lock, and Hogue call it something else. I'm aware that Hogue essentially used the same lock with some minor changes, but it seems to do the job well. It doesn't drop closed, probably because it's brand new, but it goes home quite easily. And of course, it wouldn't be a knife review if I didn't try and slash some paper, would it? Let's see how good the factory grind is. Yeah, it's reasonable. It manages a little bit of a swirl. Seems to be better at the base of the blade than the tip. The tip seems to be really struggling. Maybe not. And of course the combo edge would just go straight through it. So yeah, there you've got it. I'm pretty happy with it. It was cheaper than Benchmade's Triage. I believe the same designer basically just took his design from Benchmade over to Hogue. This version's cheaper. It's got the oxygen wrench. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. Well, if you've got any questions, I probably can't answer them, but let me know. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed.